So you're thinking of moving to Oklahoma City, you're thinking of moving to Edmond, and you're trying to decide which is better. My name is Kinsley and I'm a local realtor here in Edmond, Oklahoma and its surrounding areas. I've helped people move from as far west as California, as far north as Alaska, and as far east as Maryland. And if you're thinking about moving anywhere in between, I'd love to help you too. Whether you're thinking of moving in 10 days or 10 months, please feel free to reach out to me because I'd love to be able to connect with you and help you on your move. So in this video, I'm going to give you some pros and cons of Edmond, some pros and cons of Oklahoma City. So as you're moving and trying to decide, maybe this will help you as you decide which place is best for you. So I'm going to start with some Edmond pros. Number one is the top rated schools. I talk about this in many videos, but as you're looking at Edmond, Edmond tends to rank high on their school districts, tends to have top rated schools, again, whether that be Edmond Public Schools or Deer Creek Public Schools. Number two is the crime rates. As you're looking at crime rates around the Oklahoma City metro, Edmond's going to tend to have lower crime rates than Oklahoma City or a lot of the other suburbs. Number three is a suburban feel while also living close and having a lot of the amenities of Oklahoma City. So if Edmond doesn't have it, Oklahoma City probably does, but also Edmond has a lot of things to offer, a lot of restaurants, food, shopping, grocery stores, that sort of thing. So again, while Edmond isn't as big of a city as Oklahoma City, Edmond still has quite a bit to offer. And this is where I think visits are really helpful because you get to see the things that you need on a regular basis and then where you might want to live in comparison to those things and whether Edmond's the place or not. Number four is the home appreciation. Homes in Edmond tend to appreciate at a pretty good rate. Now, I will say this can change depending on the market and what's going on, but generally speaking, we see higher appreciation in Edmond versus Oklahoma City. And number five is well-planned growth. I would say the city and the developers do a good job of looking at Edmond, planning the growth, seeing things that need to be there, and really putting in a lot of businesses and parks and things that make it an enjoyable place to live. Now I want to talk about some Oklahoma City pros. Number one is more affordable housing. The average home cost in Edmond is going to be higher than Oklahoma City. You can tend to get a little more bang for your buck in Oklahoma City than you might be in Edmond. And again, you might be able to get into a lower price point in Oklahoma City than you would be in Edmond. Number two is the diverse neighborhoods. Oklahoma City has some really unique districts, whether it's historic districts, you have Paseo, you have Midtown, you have Bricktown, you have these different districts that make it really fun. And then kind of looking at housing variety too, you have downtown lofts, you have single family homes, you have apartments and condos and townhouses, and you have probably a little more diversity within the housing as well. Number three is a stronger job market. While Edmond has a job market, I would say obviously Oklahoma City is bigger. I often see people living in Edmond but then driving down to Oklahoma City. Not everybody, but I definitely would see that happening more than the vice versa of people living in Oklahoma City and driving to Edmond for work. Number four is entertainment and nightlife. Oklahoma City being a bigger town, it has more to do. And so you have the NBA team, the Thunder, you have Frontier City, you have the zoo, you have Remington Park. There's going to be bigger things to do. The nightlife, if that is your scene, is going to be a lot more than what you would find in Edmond. You have the downtown Bricktown area, more access to concerts and festivals, and just things probably going on throughout the year. Number five is that you're going to have more public transportation options in Oklahoma City versus Edmond. Oklahoma City, while not as great as some other major cities, does have more public transportation than you're going to find probably in Edmond. So now I want to talk about some Edmond cons, some Oklahoma City cons. And so the first con for Edmond would be the higher cost of housing. I noted earlier that Oklahoma City tends to be more affordable. Again, a con of Edmond would be that Edmond's going to be more expensive housing. Now, again, compared to a lot of other cities around the United States, Edmond is still really affordable and people find that they can usually get more for their money. However, if you're comparing it to Oklahoma City, it tends to be higher pricing. Number two is Edmond neighborhoods tend to have stricter HOA rules and regulations. Not always, but a lot of the neighborhoods, will be within an HOA. I would say it's more common to be within an HOA here than to not be in one. It's not impossible to find a house without an HOA, but again, they're more common. And within that, especially some of those neighborhoods are going to be stricter in their rules, regulations, what they allow and don't allow. While you still have those neighborhoods in Oklahoma City that might have HOAs and stricter HOAs, you're probably going to find more of them within Edmond. And then again, kind of like I mentioned, Edmond's going to have less nightlife. Edmond shuts down around 8 or 9 o'clock every night, and so Edmond's going to have less of that than Oklahoma City might have. Edmond also tends to have a lot of red light, stoplight traffic, so it's very set up like a grid. It's set up in a grid system, and so every mile you have typically a red light or a stop sign. Unless you're on like I-35, you're going to be stopping and starting a lot. This can cause kind of a different type of traffic, whereas Oklahoma City does have red lights and things like that, but it's not as grid-like, and you have a lot more interstates kind of throughout to take you across town. So now some Oklahoma City cons, again, could be in relation to Edmond Pros, but Oklahoma City tends to have higher crime rates than Edmond's going to have. So I always suggest that people do their own research, use websites like niche.com, greatschools.com, similar websites to that, to look at crime rates, to look at what people are saying, to look at schools and how they're rated. But again, overall, Oklahoma City is going to have probably significantly higher crime rates than Edmond's going to have. When looking at the schools, Oklahoma City schools are going to be lower rated than Edmond schools. Again, looking at those websites, seeing what people are saying, seeing how they're rating it, looking at things like academics, teachers, administration, sports, college readiness, taking in all those factors and seeing, and again, depending on where you're wanting to move in Oklahoma City, some of those Oklahoma City schools may be rated higher than others. So just do your research, look at the areas that you want to move to and what the statistics are saying about those areas. Number 3 is kind of that urban congestion. So while Edmond has more red light, stoplight, there's less people, you're going to see more of that urban congestion in Oklahoma City. So think downtown noise, you're going to hear maybe more traffic, depending on where your home is located, especially as you're looking at downtown and those growing districts, you might have construction noise and different types of traffic. And then the final thing I would say is infrastructure issues. So as the city's growing, there may be some concerns like roads and things like that aren't being addressed as quickly as people would like, just because of the growing population, and it's kind of hard to sometimes keep up with those things. Now, as someone who has traveled other places, lived other places, I don't actually think the roads here are as bad as they are some other places. There's definitely seasons, depending on if it rains a lot, if it freezes a lot, where the roads do get bad. But I don't necessarily, again, feel like it's as bad here as I've seen in some other places. But again, I would just come visit and let you be the judge of that. And so I hope that this video was helpful. A lot of the things I said in here, I maybe said in other videos, but I wanted to try to bring it all together of Edmond, Oklahoma City, which might be the place for you. So again, if you're thinking about moving, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to connect with you. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video, and I'll catch you in my next one.